Hello everyone and good evening. Welcome to the second week's tutorial. Sorry, I could not take the tutorial live last week because there were already 100 participants in the meet, and when I tried to join, I just could not. Yeah. Hopefully, this time we'll be able to complete. I see a lot fewer people though. There are 100 people last time. It's one-fifth of those. I don't know. We shifted to a different platform altogether from Google Meet to Teams, and hopefully we won't face the same problems that we faced last week. So before we start off, any doubts regarding the week one assignment or week one tutorial? So I had uploaded the video on YouTube. I hope it was available to everyone. So any doubts and questions regarding the tutorial? First thing, anyone?
Yeah, good evening, Amir. This is Shiva.
Yes.
I'm audible, right?
Yes, Shiva.
So last week I have joined this course. I have like a few queries actually.
Okay.
Thing is, the first thing is like I am entirely new to the Python program.
Okay.
So basically, when I look into the courses, no, the prerequisite is like a school level mathematics, or something like it is
Yes.
mentioned.
Yes.
So somehow the first week I managed,
Okay.
but down the line in the second week there are some programs it is very difficult to understand actually.
Okay.
And one more thing what I observed is there are some quiz and there are some assignments.
Yes.
So we have to submit both are for
You have to
the
submit
mass.
both.
Oh, we have to submit both.
Yes.
Okay. And in the second week assignment, for the assignment questions,
Hmm?
I'm not, at least I am not able to find how to submit the assignment. There are some compile and run, and there is some draft buttons are there actually.
Uh-huh.
So can you help me, at least for the submission purpose,
Okay. So maybe we
assignments?
will
Yeah.
just do that. We'll just do that
Yeah,
now.
sure. Because tomorrow is the final
Last
submission
date,
date for
no?
the
Yeah. Yeah.
correct. So
Okay.
if you know the process, no, then we
Yeah.
can go through that actually.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyone else?
Okay.
Anyone else? Okay. So I'll tell you what is to be done. When is the submission for the week three assignment? It's due tomorrow itself. Okay. Okay. Uh, where I'll just share my screen now. Share screen. Okay. Entire screen. Yeah. Okay. This is your assignment page. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, Amir, at least I am able to
Yes.
see.
Okay. Then everyone should be able to see. So this is what your questions are. Okay. This is what your questions
Yes.
are.
Yeah.
So this is one question. Then you have another question, and what these are is basically now some function has been defined called three squares. So when you give an input like this, depending on what the question is, you should get true or false and all. Okay. So this is something that you don't have to write the same thing. Okay. But your function name has to be the same. Yeah, so you will write three functions at the end. So here in the first thing you'll write a function called three squares. In the second question you'll write a function called rep free, and in the third question you'll write something called as hill value. Okay. So you have to write functions that perform those specific functions that perform the task that is given in these lines. Okay. Where do you have to write that? So when you go and select the language for this assignment, when you go for the drop down, it says Python 3. Okay. So here is where you write everything. Okay, so basically I can write define hill view, okay, and then something, some input, okay, and then I write the entire program. I write the entire program here, okay. Like that, I'll write all three programs in the same space. So I write three functions basically. And then when I run that code, no, compile and run, there are all these test cases. So if the input for the function 3 squares is 6, you should get true. If you get something else, that means something's wrong in your program, that function of 3 squares that you have written. Okay. Likewise, this rep free, and if this is the input, you should get true. But if you get something else, then again there's something wrong with your program. Okay. So that's the how you have to approach this program assignment. Any doubts regarding that?
So once we check the test cases, all three functions we can submit.
Yeah, so all
Submit
the three
button.
functions should be written in this one, in this space, white space that is given. And then when you
Okay.
compile and run, all the three functions get executed. And then there are some test cases for each function. They're given test cases. They run automatically. Okay. If your code has some error, then this output will not match. This is the expected output. Okay. It will not match what your output your program is giving. So it should match the output that is given here. Okay. Otherwise, you'll get some error. For example, I'll write a function. Okay. I just write something. So what three cases it's called? Okay. Return. This is just one dummy thing. So I will just return true every time this function is run. Okay. Now I just compile and run this entire thing. Okay. See, it's giving me some error and all. You see that?
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, like this we have to check it. Huh? Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Got it. Okay, okay, okay.
So when I
So
compile
that
and run,
the test cases should be paused. Like with this. Okay, this
yeah,
program we need to check it out. Huh?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So see,
So
it
for
is
all
giving
the
me.
three, we have to submit at a time, or how it will be? Like we can write it
Huh?
separately. We have to submit
So
separately
what
for
I
all
would
the three
recommend you
questions.
to do is if you have something like idle or spider, so these are environments in which you can write. Okay, today we'll do something on spider. I did it last week also, but you can use idle also. You have to download it, and then when you run it, no, so you can check all your programs there, and finally you can copy paste your entire program here. You don't have to do everything on this, but if you don't have a that, then you can. It's a little not. It's not good to write your entire program here first. Okay, so
Yes,
you
yes.
write it in some editor, you run the programs there, check the output, check where you're going wrong, everything, and then you come back here and paste the code. Okay, see here I'm getting an error, and actual output what I'm getting every time is true, but expected output here, see, it's false, but I'm always getting true because here no, I'm returning only true here. Okay, no matter what the output, what the input is. But we will do some examples. Okay. Okay.
Sure, sure.
So I hope this part is clear. How you have to do your assignment, the programming assignment. You run or you write all your programs in some editor, run it there, check all the correctness, and then paste it here. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
So for week one, there is no assignment, I think,
No, no,
right?
no, no. But week two
Only
onwards,
quizzes.
just for you to get a habit of writing programs.
Okay.
Remember, even in my thing, I've written programs. In my first tutorial, if you have seen my YouTube videos, I've written some programs. So if you can practice that, then you'll be able to do these better. Like you'll get a handle of how functions are written, what the input, how his output is, and all those things. See, here it says only 2 of 11 cases passed. You see, I have to pass all my test cases. So my program is not, I'm just showing you a very dummy program, what I've written. That's all. It just returns true no matter what the input is for 3 squares. And I've not written the other functions only, rep free and those other functions. Okay, make sure your function name is exactly the same that is given here. Otherwise, you'll get an error. You'll get a runtime error. See, you're getting a runtime error because this function has not been defined only. Okay, so the spellings of these functions should be exactly the same. So I would suggest you copy paste the spelling here, and then the function name should have the same spelling. So it's better if you copy paste. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
got it. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions regarding the tutorial or the assignments so far? Okay, if not, we'll just move on to this week. Okay, so we'll do a little bit of recap from last week because I think what happened last week was I did most of what was done, what will be done in week two. So I yeah, introduced you all to all these data structures and things like that. Uh, so we'll do that again. We'll go through those things again, and then we'll do programs like last time, slightly more complicated programs. Okay, just give me a moment. I'm opening the presentation. We'll do it slowly. Please interrupt me anytime you feel like if you are stuck. Okay,
Yes.
please interrupt me. I think there are only 18 people. Last time there were like 100. I could not join only. What happened to so many people? Okay. Okay. So week two. So a quick introduction to all the data types that Python has. Okay. You have like if you have so what are data types? So you have to give an input to a computer and get an output. Okay. So when you have to give an input, you have to tell what type of data you are giving in. Okay. And only then it will be able to process your data and then give you an output. So what do you mean by data type? For example, data has many types. So you have numbers, you have text, then you have sets. All those kind. There are different kinds of data. Okay, you have a matrix, you have an Excel file, or what we call a data frame. All those kinds of things. So all these kind of data, the types of data can be categorized as follows. For example, if you just have text, no, then the data type is called string and it's denoted by str. Okay, these are all keywords in Python. So str denotes string. Then you have numeric data type, basically numbers. Numbers can be integers, they can be decimal points. Uh, decimal point with many values after the point can be represented by long, long, okay? And then you have complex numbers also, something of the form x plus iy. Then data can also be a sequence of items. So for that you have in the keyword like list, tuple, range, and things like that. Then you have dictionary. We haven't done that yet, but let's see if it comes in the course. I'll explain to you what that is. Then you have sets again, like set and all. Then you have boolean. Boolean is nothing but true or false. It has only two values, true and false. I just wrote, no, that return true. So true is a data type of boolean type. It's basically to do if else conditions and things like that. Then you have bytes, byte array, and all like basically how much memory or so you have variables in your when you pass data as variables in your program, and those variables have they take up certain amount of memory, and that memory is in the terms of bytes by, and you can visualize that in terms using these keywords like bytes, byte array, and things like that. Then you have something called as none type, which is just no type of data. Okay, all these are useful in their own context. We'll get to them when and if and when we need to use such data types. Let's recap how a function is written. So function has this following syntax. So you need to write this diff, which is a keyword. Your basically it means define. Then function name, name of the function. You can give this. You can let this thing be anything, any alphanumeric stuff like the what we wrote 3 squares. So that was the name of a function. So it's something, some list of letters in the English alphabet. And then even numbers can be included. Then you have parameters. Basically, these are input that you need to give to the function on which certain operations are done. Then you have a colon, and then you write all the statements. Basically, this tells the computer what how to process the input that you're passing into the function. Okay, and then you return the output of the function. So return some expression. Okay, so this basically is how you write a function. Okay, then you have conditional statements. So basically these are if else conditions. So if some condition, some, and then some statements that are executed if the condition is true or false, depending on the condition. Else, some statements again, or you can use elif. You can put elif and write some condition again. Okay. So it's if else if that's if elif, or you can just add else no condition and then so if it's false then it goes to else and these statements are executed. So any doubts regarding how if else flows? So how this works is if say I want to know whether a number is positive. Okay. If number is greater than 0, then print number. Those will come as statements. Else statement, it's a negative number, something like that. So if the condition comes out to be true, these statements are executed. If not, else these statements are executed. Otherwise, you can use elif, which is basically another condition, and if that condition is true, then the statements are executed. These are known as control statements. Basically, they allow you to determine how the program flows. Okay, you can control how the program flows using that. Then you have arithmetic operations. This we have done in the last class. Then again for if else comparison operators equal to, not equal to, greater than, lesser than, and things like that. Okay, we'll be using some of this today. Then we have loops. So loops are what? So suppose you want to execute a statement many number of times, then you use something known as for loop or while loop. Okay. For example, if you want to print all odd numbers between 1 and 10, we have done this programs last week. You can refer to those videos. Then you can use something like a for loop. How is for loop written? For you have target some variable. So for I in range. So this is some object. Here it's a list. Okay, range is a form of list. Okay, goes from 1 to 11 and you print I. If you run this program, run these statements, it will print all numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, why 10 and not 11? Because in Python you don't the last number here in range is not actually executed. It goes last but one, until last but one. This is important. Okay, you'll see we'll be doing some programs like that today. Then you have while loop, which is like for loop but slightly different. You initialize the variable here, then you write the condition here while I is less than so, and then you have all the statements here. And importantly, in while loop, you have to write your increment here. In for loop, you don't always have to write it. For example, here we have not written increment by 1 every time, but range automatically does that. But in while loop, you have to explicitly say I equals I plus 1. Okay. In range, one more thing you can do is if I write 2 here, then what happens is it skips every two values. So it's basically prints 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay. Only till 9 and not 11. Again, the same reason, but it skips by 2 from the initial value every iteration. So that is something range also accommodates. So you can pass in 3 arguments for range function. That is initial value, final value, and the size of the step by which you want to increase for every iteration. Okay. So that's for loop and while loop. Okay. Uh, so this week you did something on strings and lists, no? It was mainly on that. So we'll do some small statements. We'll execute some small statements relating to strings and lists. Something common to both strings and lists are both are iterable. Okay, so you can go through the entire string or the entire list in an iterative fashion. Okay, for example, if you want to print all elements of a string or a list, you can do that separately. Okay, and both are mutable. What does that mean? You can change your list or your string. Okay, you can't do that in something in a data type called as tuples. Okay, go and Google this what tuples is. You cannot change the value of the tuple. Okay, you cannot change what is inside a tuple, but in a list and a string, you can change what is inside. Okay, any doubts regarding what I've spoken so far? Anyone?
If there is a list inside a tuple and the
Yeah.
list gets updated, so effectively the same changes will take place inside the tuple as well.
Yes, it's only in that list part. Yes, like he
So
said,
if
for
we
example, if you have a list inside a tuple, like if you have a tuple of lists, you can change what is there inside the list, okay? But you cannot change, say, you cannot change. Oh, actually, let's try that. I've not,
there are
since,
no methods to change
let's
for
see.
tuple.
Okay, maybe there is not. Maybe that's what I've not done this because I've not seen the use, but let's do this. Let's try and answer this question. So I'm just opening Spider. It will take some time. Very good question though. So his question is, suppose you have a tuple of lists. So every item in the tuple is a list. Now, can you change the items within those lists? Okay, when they are contained inside a tuple. So we do that. Is that correct? Is that is
Yes.
okay? Okay. So I'll just so operations on tuples. Okay. I'll define a tuple T. How do you write the tuple is you write a circular bracket and then you can have, like, for example, this is a tuple, okay? But since the question is 1 2 3 1 comma 2 or maybe 4 comma 5, okay? So this is a tuple with lists inside them. Now can I change the values within this first list, okay? So I'm just trying to change this. T of 0 comma 0 is equal to 9, yeah? And then T. Let's just I'll explain to you what I'm doing. Oh, it did change. Okay. So yes, you can change what is inside the tuple if those items are lists. Okay. So here I've defined a tuple with two items, both are lists. The first list is 1, 2, 3, and the second is 4 and 5. Now I say T of 0. T of 0 refers to the first element in the tuple. Okay. Now I cannot write this as I cannot change this to be, see, I cannot change this to be some, say, number, okay? This will give me an error, okay? See, you get an error here, which says tuple does not support item assignment. So I cannot change what T of 0 is, but I can change what is inside the T of 0, okay? T of 0 is basically this list. So in Python, like we did in the last tutorial, the index starts from 0. So the position of this entire list is 0. Then the position of this entire list is 1 within that tuple. So when I say T of 0, it basically means this entire list. Okay, I cannot change the entire list from T of 0 to something like a number or even a new list. I cannot do this. I cannot write T of 0 as something. It will give me an error says that does not support item assignment. Basically, it means you cannot change a tuple, the list, this entire element itself. But you can change what is inside that element because it's a list. Okay. So once I've accessed the first thing, it's a list now. Now I access the position within that list. Okay. So first I access T of 0 means this entire list. Now T of 0 and then 0 again basically means the zeroth position within that list. The zeroth position is 1. Now that I can change to me, I want it to be 9. Okay. So I do that. And then I just I ask to just give me the value of T. Okay. So when I do that, so initially my T is 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5. But you see now T becomes 9, 2, 3 and 4, 5. So the first element of that first list is changing. So does this answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. So basically lists are mutable even when they are present within tuples. Yeah. But good question. Okay. Now let's do some operations on list. So I hope you have gone through the videos and you know how what lists are. We'll just do some basic operations using some keywords in Python. Okay. So list is defined by like how tuple has circular brackets, list has square brackets. And whatever inside the square bracket is are known as elements of that list. Now I define a list A equals, so this is a variable A which is a what you call list of numbers that go from 1 to 6. So I've actually explicitly written that. Okay, you can also check what kind of data type this is. If I do type of A, let's see if this works. So when I do type of A, it tells me it's a list. So the data type is a list. Okay. And now I want to know what is the length of A. Length of A basically is how big is that list. So when I do length of A, len of A, what does it give me? What should it give me? Anyone? Please answer if you know the 6. Sorry? Sorry, I cannot.
The length.
Okay, I cannot understand. Sorry. So yes, the answer will be 6. Okay, I'm running this line now. So everything I'm doing here is in spider. Okay, you can use idle also. Okay, see the output I got here is 6. Okay. Please refer to my previous video, like how spider, like what these screens are. So this is basically where I write my script and I run it. I've explained how I run particular lines. So you have to press function F9 in the spider. It will execute only the lines that you have selected. And you get the output here. This is basically the console where the program, whatever you type here is run when you run it. Okay. Something you can do with list and string is you can slice it. So if you want to extract, say, a sequence of a part of the list, okay, you can use this something like this. So A square bracket 1 to 4, so colon in between 1 colon 4. What it will give me is elements that go from position 1 to position 3, and it will not take the fourth position. So what will the output of this be? Anyone? Please tell me.
2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4.
2, 3, 4. Let's try and run this. Yes, 2, 3, 4. So first the index element at index 1 is 2, and then 3 element at index 2 is 3, and element at index 3 is 4. Okay, element at index 4 is 5, but that will not get printed because in Python you don't go till the last element, you go only till last but 1. Now you can also add elements to a one second. Are there more people? One second, yeah. Okay, I'll answer this later. Okay. Please let me know if there are questions in the chat pertaining to this class. I'll answer them right away. Okay, so you want me to repeat this? So you can slice. So if you want a part of the string, okay. Suppose I just want to get 2, 3, and 4. I can pass this command, okay, which is A square bracket. Square brackets are important. 1 colon 4. What it does is it prints all the elements from the position of index 1 till position index 3. Okay. So if in a list positions start from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are my index. Can you please switch off your whoever is that sound is coming? Yeah. So yeah. So the first index, so the element at index 1 is 2, right? Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes. Then index, so it goes, so this basically prints all elements of list A from index 1 to index 3. Okay. So index 2 is what? 3, right? Index 2 is 3. Is that correct?
Yes.
And index 3 is 4. It will not print the element at index 4 because in Python, again, as I'm repeating, it will go only till last but one element, okay, last but one number. So it will go only from index 1 to 3, and the elements at index 1 to 3 are nothing but 2, 3, and 4. Okay, I will send you a copy of this code, and you have to, it will be good if you go through all this along with the videos so that you understand. Okay. Okay, someone is just texting. I will post the video link on YouTube by tomorrow. Okay. Okay. Then, if you want to add an element to an already existing list at the end, you use something called as append. So the syntax is a dot append 7. Okay. Let's see what happens when I do that. So I run this program a dot append 7, and now I just want to see what a is. Okay. You see the list, the 7 has been added. So append is used to add one whatever element here to that list, but only one element at a time. Suppose you want to add a sequence, okay? Suppose I want to add two numbers at a time, so it's a sequence 8 and 9. There's another thing to that, what you call keyword, and that is extend. So this basically allows you to pass a list, basically a sequence, and that gets added to your list. Okay, so let's do that. So I dot a dot extend. Now I write the value of a. Now here 8 and 9 has also been added to the list A. So extend allows you to add multiple elements in one go. Okay, and they have to be given as a list here. So a dot extend 8 and 9 will add those numbers 8 and 9. Okay, you can't do that with append. Append allows you to add just one item at a time. Okay, is that clear so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Should the argument be a list necessarily?
Sorry?
Should the argument be a list?
Should the
For extend?
argument be a list? Let's try. But I mean, the use of extend is to give a list, because list can contain a sequence. Okay? So A is a
Can we use a
list, and if you want to add
tuple
more than one element, that also has to be a list. Otherwise, you can just use append, no? If you just want to add one element at a time. But let's try.
set?
Let's try. So if I do 10, which is not a list, I don't think it should work, but let's try. So yeah, so you see, it's in, you just cannot, it has to be a list for extend. Okay.
I meant any other iterable. That's what I meant.
Any other iterable, same like tuple or something.
Yes.
Okay. So I think you can add a tuple to a list. Let's try. I've not done this. No, it has to be a list. It has to be a list. Okay. Because you cannot, yeah, it has to be a list of numbers. Although list can contain tuples also. Like example, if I give here, and lists and tuples can contain lists likewise. You can do that, but for extend it has to be a list. Okay. So this will not give me an error. It is just I'm just defining a list. Okay. So it's a list of tuples. But this has to be, it's not doing anything, but this way it will not give me an error. So if I do this, okay, that a has been changed now. Okay. So extend ke andar you always have to give a list, and for append you just have to give one element. It could be a list, tuple, whatever. Okay, here I can give a tuple. Okay, so if I give a tuple, okay, see, it gets added as just one element. Okay, 7 has gotten added here just as a number. Okay, I can put n number of brackets, it does not matter. So extend has very specific functions. Okay.
I,
Then
I think you should try putting a comma after the first element, because I suppose it does get added.
you mean
Tuple.
this one?
Yeah, for extend.
Okay, a dot extend. Okay, maybe. So I'm
Like
passing two elements and then okay as a tuple.
uh, round brackets. Yeah.
Oh, it is okay. So yeah, it will just okay. You can give round brackets also as a tuple. Okay. So I don't know why it didn't work with just one element. That was strange. Oh,
For one element, you have to add a comma.
oh, okay. Oh, okay. Nice. I didn't know this. Thanks for letting me know. Okay. Yes. Someone. Okay. Next, we'll do some more operations. Suppose you have a list of numbers going from 1 to 3, 4, 5, and you want to remove the number 5. Okay. So I can use this command a dot remove 5. It removes the first occurrence of 5. Okay. What do I mean by that? Suppose I have two fives. Okay. Let's try the first one just with one. Okay. So when I see there is no more 5 in my list. Okay. 5 has been removed. But what if I have two fives? You will still get one five. So remove can only remove an item once and the first occurrence of that item. Okay, for example, if there was 5 here also, it will just remove 5 from the first occurrence. See, 5 was removed from the first thing, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, ending 5, 5. So the first occurrence of whatever item you specify here. Okay. Pop does the same thing. For example, if you have a list here, pop removes by index. So it removes the element at this index 4. Okay. So if A is this list, what will A dot pop for? What will be the result of that when I do that and print A? What do you think it will be? Anyone? Anyone?
1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
Yes. Okay. So that's because 5 is at index 1. No, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. E, pop. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay. Then you can also sort it if your elements are like this, like if you have numbers or anything that needs to be sorted, you can use sort of. Okay, this is another function. So if I have a list 4, 2, 6, 7, and if I run this and I do a dot sort of, it will arrange all the elements in ascending order. See, all the elements are in ascending order. Now I can arrange all elements in descending orders also. So that is nothing but a dot reverse of. Okay, and see, all elements are in descending order here. Okay, so these are some functions on lists. Okay, any doubts so far? Any doubts? Okay, next we'll do some operations on strings. Okay, now string, how do you define a string? So this is a variable s which I will name and that will store a string. How do you define string? You need to put double or single inverted commas. So I can either define this like this or I do something like this. Okay, both ways, single or double or inverted commas, both can be used. I usually use only single inverted. Okay, so this is a string. The string is basically this entire list of what I've written. Now, like list, you can know how big the string is. Okay, same argument, length of s. So it will give me it's so my string is 12 letters, 12 elements long. So many letters or whatever characters are there, not letters, characters are there in my string. There are 12 characters. So if I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, suppose I want to calculate how many times a particular character appears in my string. For example, I want to know how many times the letter A appears in the string, I use this called s dot count of. Okay, if I just run that, it will tell me how many times A is occurring. A is occurring 2 times, right? There's A here and A here. Suppose I want to know the index of A. Okay, it will give me the index at which A occurs first. Okay, so A is occurring here at 0th position, the first, so the s dot index of A is 0. Okay, that's some function. So index basically returns the index of the character where it is found first. Then you can convert all the characters, all the letters of the alphabet from to uppercase in this thing. So s dot upper of, see, all the letters in the English alphabet have been converted into uppercase. Then you can do s dot lower of also. It will convert it back into lowercase. See, s dot lower. All the letters have been converted to lowercase. Many functions like that. For example, s dot title converts anything at the start of a string and after every full stop into capital. Okay, this is good when you're writing sentences and all. Okay, it's basically like in English. Yeah, in English.
Sir, what is the use of count, sir?
What is the
Count.
count? Count is used to calculate the number of times a particular character appears in a string. For example, how many times does A occur in my string S? So it will give me two times. So see, it gives you 2 as the answer.
Okay, in the function length, it will
Yeah,
also count the characters like symbols, full stop, comma, dollar symbol, percentage.
all are
It will
counted.
also
All are
that
counted.
too.
Yes, anything given within these quotes is counted. So,
Okay.
and with that string, I can type anything. I can even put dollar, percentage, everything. It will just get considered as a string only. Nothing like special character. But there are exceptions to that. If you use format dot string, there are exceptions to that. We'll get that if and when the need appears. Yeah. Any
Excuse
other
me, ma'am.
question? Someone's mic is on. I don't want to mute people. Please, if you don't do not if you do not wish to speak to the class, you can put your mic off. This is funny actually. Okay, I don't know who's.
I'm on doubt.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, ma'am, when you change the string to lower or upper,
Yeah.
so how do you revert back it to the actual string?
Oh, you need to keep track then of what things are changing. Yeah.
Ma'am, in a code, if in case if it's changed to lower or upper, like what if I don't know if it is changed? So how will I revert it back? So is it possible, ma'am?
It's not. You need to keep track.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Like for example, if I say, so I define S, okay, like this. Now I do L equals some new variable equals S, okay, and I run this. Now I do all S dot upper of, okay. Now I want, if I write the value of L, you can do this, okay. You
Okay.
can store this into another variable and you do all the operations on whatever variable you want, okay. And then if you want the original thing, you use that other variable. Did you get that?
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. Understood. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but yeah.
Thank you.
Next, you can also, like in list, you can get a part of a string, okay. For example, this is my string hello world and I need to get just hello out of it, okay. If I do S0 to 5, it will print all the characters in the list from 0 to position index 4. So it will print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It will print till hello. Let's try and see that. Here is it like list only. See, you get hello back. Okay. Any doubts here? Slicing a list. Next, you can also do, you can add, you can like concatenate a string. You basically can join two strings. Okay. Suppose I have a string s1 which is hello and then spacebar and then s2 equals world. I want to combine both. Okay, I just do s1 plus s2, so it's easy in Python. You just have to use a plus sign. When I do that, sorry, when I do that, I get hello world. Okay, so that's how you concatenate strings. Okay, suppose I want to separate the string. Suppose I have this string hello world and I want to separate it. Okay, separate it wherever there is a space bar. I use this function called s dot split off. Okay, so yeah, so s dot split off. Okay, and then it will split the elements wherever there is space. So one split before and one split after, and that will get returned as a list. Okay, so this is my output. I get two elements, hello comma world. Okay, so the split is happening where the space bar is. I can specify something else also. Suppose I want to split the list wherever uh, o occurs. Okay, so wherever o occurs, this list should split there. So tell me what would be the output of this command? If I split where O is there, what would be the output? Anyone?
Hell place
Hell,
world.
hell,
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 yes,
oh,
then
then
O double.
hell
O
space
world.
Yes.
W space RLD.
Yes. So you see hello, W and RLD. Okay. So you get three elements because O is there two times here. So wherever O is there, the split happens there and everything before and after gets printed. So something like this. L, you have space W also. These are two characters here because there's a space after thing. So you can specify anything here.
So does split removes the element O?
Yes, it also removes that element also, and it gives you just that list of elements where the wherever O is there, that won't be printed. Before and after that, wherever is there will get printed, but in terms of a list. So the first item will be anything before the first occurrence of O. Then the second item will be if whatever elements occurred between hell and between the first and the second O. Okay, like that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Then you can
Sir,
also given a list of someone.
sir, in the S1 plus S2 function,
Hmm?
let's consider there is no space between the after the hello word. So
Yeah.
if we use the function S1 plus S2, we will get hello world without space.
Yes.
If you want to add space, is
Yes.
there any other function?
Oh, just automatically you can do this. So yeah, here itself you can do this hello plus one more space plus. Okay, if I don't need to want to add space there, I can do this. Okay, so if I do this, so I'm adding actually three strings now at a time. See, S1 is a string, then you have another string with just a space in between, and then you have S2. Okay. Otherwise, you can do something like here. Okay, suppose I have a list of strings, say good morning, and I want to add, say, a comma in between. So this is a very good statement that is very useful. So I add, or maybe space bar. So okay, space bar, and I want a space to occur between good and morning. So space bar dot join of a list of all the strings that I need to join. Okay, so when I run this, say good morning. So it gives you an output in the form of a string. So this is an inverse of split where you take in all the element strings as a list and then join them with whatever you want in between. So this can be a space bar, this can be a comma or anything. Okay, it's the inverse of split, join. Okay, is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts? So you can, so split and join are opposites of each other. Okay, so these are some operations on lists and strings. Any doubts so far?
No, sir.
Okay, just give me 5 minutes. I'll just take a break and then we'll continue. Okay, you can also take a 5 minute break. We'll do two programs after that, and then we'll stop for the day. Okay. Uh, let's continue. So, okay. Can everybody see my screen? Yeah? Give me a minute. Hello? Class level. So I hope everyone's back. Okay. We'll continue. So you in your assignment, I thought I'll just do the program in a particular manner. There was one program on hill valley problem. Okay. Um, so I thought I'll just do one program based on that. Suppose so it has many things. This program, first of all, can be done in many manners. Okay. I have proceeded in one fashion, but I encourage you to find different ways of doing it. And please don't write the same code that I've given. It will amount to plagiarism. Okay, and you might get no marks or even penalized for the course from the course. Okay. So write your own program, and there are many ways of writing the same program. Okay, I have written it in one manner. So what is a hill valley problem? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, I'm very audible.
Okay, because it gone off. No? Okay. So hill valley problem is basically, suppose you are given a sequence of numbers. You want to find whether no, you want to. So the program asks whether there is only one valley or hill. Okay. So basically, if you can imagine numbers or like how does a hill look? Maybe I'll show you graphically. Maybe how do I do that? Okay, I'll open my video. Yeah, so I hope you can see me. So hill no is like this, no? Hill is like this and valley is like this. Like this is a valley V. Inverted V is a hill. So you have to write a program which takes in a sequence of numbers and tells you whether there is a hill or not. Okay, only one hill. Okay, not more than that. If there are more, you have to accommodate same thing. I have written a program for which there is only one hill. You have to find whether there is only one hill or more, not, or one valley or not. Okay. So the, if you have a sequence like this, for example, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 4. So you have an ascending thing, it goes till 5, and then you have a descending thing. 5 to 4 is descending, right? Because 4 is lesser than 5. So you have a peak at 5. So peak means it's going up. So 1, 2, 3, you're climbing up, you reach the top 5, and then you go down from 5 to 4. So that's a hill. Okay. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just increasing. You don't have a hill at all. You don't reach the end. It's just climbing. It's a slope kind of thing. You don't find a hill because it's always increasing. Okay. Then if you have something that's always decreasing, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it's a slope again. You're going from top to bottom. Whereas if you go bottom 5, 4, 1 and then you start increasing 1, 2, 3, then you have a valley. So you're decreasing and then increasing. Okay. So I have written a program to detect whether there is only one hill or one valley. Okay. Okay. You can write a program to detect how many hills or how many valleys there are, or just how many hills there are, or just how many valleys there are. You can modify a program. Okay. So I have written this program. I don't know whether it's the correct program because I've not read the question fully. But this program will detect hill valley problem to detect if there is exactly one hill or one valley. Okay. I'm being very specific here. Yeah. So this is how I do this. So I define a function called hill value, which takes an input L. Now L needs to be a list here. Okay, I'll just write that L is a list of integers or numbers or real numbers. Okay. Now I import NumPy. So NumPy is a package in Python which allows you to do certain operations. Okay, I'll tell you what the operation is. Okay, the operation is diff. So this np dot, so suppose I have a list a is equal to 1 2 3 4 5 and I do np dot diff of a. Okay. Oh sorry, I have to first
Excuse me, Amar, you are sharing something. We are
oh
not
sorry,
able to
oh
see.
yeah, sorry, I'd forgotten. Please tell me because I might forget.
You're muted, sir. You're muted.
Okay. Okay. So now you can see my screen?
The mic is mute.
So sorry. Okay. So the you understood what hill valley that function
Sir,
should
your
do?
mic is muted.
Oh my God, you couldn't hear me all this while? Hello, could you hear me all this while? Hill valley and all when I said?
No, sir, it was muted.
Oh, so sorry. Okay. So you have an assignment question which says you have to find whether in a given sequence of numbers there is a hill or a valley. Please, can you put off your microphone?
राहुल जिस तरह बोला
Can you please switch off your microphone? I cannot find that one person. Then switch their microphone off. It's a little hard. Okay. So you can see my screen and hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you are given a problem wherein given a sequence of numbers, you want to find whether the sequence of numbers contains a single hill or a valley. Okay. So what is a hill or valley? Suppose given the sequence of numbers, you have just one maxima or one minima. Okay. What is maxima or minima? Suppose in these numbers you have 1, 2, 3, 5 and 4. What is a maxima in this? 5, right? And then you have after that something, you have a decreasing thing also. So when you have a peak that is just one maxima and that's not at the edges, then you get a hill. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 5, you're increasing till 5 and then you go from 5 to 4, which is decreasing. So you have a hill whose peak is at 5. Okay. Likewise, you get a valley when you have say numbers like 5, 4, 3, 2. Once you're decreasing, oh no, 5, 4, 1, 2, 3. So you're decreasing 5, 4, 1. And then from 1 you again go increase 2 and 3. So you have a dip, you have a valley, and the valley is at 1. Okay, so you need to find out whether given a sequence of numbers you have a hill or a valley. For example, here in this sequence of numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there is no hill or valley, it's just a slope. It's an increasing slope, right? The numbers are just increasing from the beginning till the end. And again here, in this last sequence of numbers 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, your numbers are just decreasing. You don't have a dip and then an increase or an increase and then a dip. Okay, so you don't have a hill or a valley in these numbers. Okay, so you need to write a program that detects whether given a sequence of numbers you have a single hill or a single valley. Or I don't know if it is a hill or a valley. If you have more than one, you can have more than one hills or more than one valleys. Have a hill and a valley, things like that. I have written a program to detect whether there is a single hill or a single valley. Okay. So do you understand the problem?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then
Sir, isn't there should be hill and valley?
you can have a hill and a valley. For
Okay.
example, if you have numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, then I come back 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 2, 3. Okay, for example, I'll just type the numbers out. Okay, so my screen is here. So if I have a equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. So you have, so between two hills there is always a valley. Yes, you will know that if you look at any mountain, if you have two peaks between that, you need to have a valley, no? Otherwise, you cannot have two mountains. Okay, so that's what is happening here. The first mountain is at 4, peak is at 4, then it decreases. Then you have a minima at 1, that's the valley, and then you have again, say, something that's increasing. So I can write 4 and again come down. Okay, 2. Okay, so I have two hills and one valley here. No? So that's how you can have. Sorry? Is that
Sir,
clear?
sir, it does mean hill means increasing, valley means decreasing, sir.
No. Hill means you have to first have an increase and then a decrease. You have to have the decrease. If it's
Okay.
only increasing, then it's a slope. If it's only increasing or decreasing, then it's a slope. You read the question properly. Okay. So
Okay.
hill, if it consists of an ascending sequence followed by a descending sequence, and the vice versa is a valley. Okay. So descending sequence followed by, you can assume that are always different from each other. Okay, whatever. Okay, I have written a program now to detect whether given a sequence of numbers you have one hill or one valley. Okay, so this is my code here. Now this is my function hill valley, and I pass an input L, which is a list of numbers. Okay, I'm just defining things now. I'll give the input much later. Now I do something known as import numpy SNP. Numpy is a package, okay, in Python, which allows me to do certain operations. For example, if I do this first, I do import numpy. So please write this program in a different manner. Okay, this is one way of how I've written this. And I do a, so a is say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I do np dot diff of a. Okay. Tell me what is this doing? What is the function diff doing? np dot diff of a. It's taking the list a and it's basically doing the difference of two adjacent elements. It's doing 2 minus 1, 3 minus 2, 4 minus 3, 5 minus 4, and it's giving me the output. Okay, which is all 1 1 1 1. No, so 2 minus 1 is 1,
Yes, sir.
3 minus 2 is 2. So that I'm doing that here. Okay, so I'm calculating differences of the list np.diff L, and I'm printing all those differences. Okay, I will show you why this is important. So it will just print whatever this array is. Okay, when I pass that as the input here. Okay, so I create a variable differences which stores the values of all the values of np.diff of L. Okay, I store that in differences. I print that differences. Now I introduce a variable called count, and the initial value of that count, that variable is 0. Okay. Now, then what I do is I loop through the indices of differences, that is length of this. So I write this loop for I in range, length of differences minus 1. So it basically goes from index 0 to the last but one element, the index. Okay, that's this what this I goes through. Okay, Does everyone understand that? What this loop is doing? Like just the first statement. It starts with 0 and it goes till the index of the last but one element. Okay, that is defined by length of differences minus 1. Okay, did you get
Yes,
this?
sir.
Then,
Yes, sir. In this case, it will
What
run
is the
till 3.
sorry, it will not
Sorry.
go until the last element. It will just go until the
Yes.
last but one element. So that's why I've written length of. If I've just written length of differences, it will go to the last element. Okay. But since I don't want, I just want to go till the last but one element, then that's why I do this minus 1. So if the length of differences is say 4, it will go till 3. So the length of
Third.
differences minus 1 is 3. It will go till the 0, 1, 2. Okay. It will not go till the last element. It will go until the last but one element of that, whatever list is. Okay. Is that clear? Now, why am I doing that? Okay. Now, if you have a value, okay, I'll demonstrate this way. So this is where logic comes in. This is less programming and more logic.
sir?
4, comma 3. So this has one hill. Yeah. The hill is at
Then
5. Yeah, tell
why
me.
are you use, what will be the use of the numpy as np? Means what will be the function then?
So I'll tell you, I'm showing that. Okay. Okay. Now if I do, see, I store a list d, diff d is equal to np dot. So where is the peak here now? Tell me. Or is there a peak or not?
Yes, there is a peak at 5.
Yes. So when I do np dot diff, okay,
Yes.
np dot diff of a, okay. Now, so there is a sign change. It goes from positive positive to negative negative. Yeah. So the hill will, so in a hill, you are increasing and then decreasing. So somewhere there will be a sign change, no? 4 minus 5 will be negative, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So first 2 minus 1 is 1, 3 minus 2 is again 1, 4 minus 3 is 1, 5 minus 4 is 1, then 4 minus 5 is minus 1. Okay. Now, if I want to find, so what I do is, here is the crux. So when I divide the first element by the second element, if they are of the same sign, they will always be positive. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So so that's what I'm doing here. Ith element divided by the I plus 1th element of that differences. Okay. If that is greater than 0, nothing. But if that is less than 0, that means they are of the opposite sign. So somewhere they'll be opposite. Here they'll be opposite, no? At 1 and minus 1, when I do 1 divided by minus 1, you'll get minus 1. So that it's less than 0, right?
Yes, correct. Yes, sir.
Yes. So whenever there's a sign change, your value of the adjacent element, the quotient of that will be less than 1. Less than 0, sorry, it will be negative. So when that happens, I increase my count. Count is equal to count plus 1. Okay. Initially my count was 0, now count is 1. Okay. Now if count is equal to 1, then return true, otherwise return false. Okay. So that means there is one hill or one valley. Okay, the same thing if I write in reverse, no? So let's do a valley here. So let's do in decreasing order. So I'll just write this. 5, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. Now I do. So you see this is a sign change, no? Between from minus it's going to a positive, negative to positive. For a value also, there is a value at 1, right?
Yes. Yes.
And then if I take the quotient, if the first to the quotient is 1 minus 1 divided by minus 3 is always positive, right? Because they are of the same sign. But when I do minus 3 and minus 1, then the sign is negative. So it's less than 0. And then 1 and 1 is again positive. So whenever it's less than 0, I increase my count by 1. Okay. So this applies to both hill or a valley. Okay, I can detect both at one using this thing. Now if the count is equal to 1, then true, otherwise false. So it will detect exactly whether there is one hill or one valley. Okay. How do I change my program to figure out if there is uh, there is more than one hill or one valley, or there are hills and valleys, or hills or valleys, or anything like that? I just have to do greater than 0, no?
So yes, basically.
So then
But
I
in
just,
that case as well,
yeah,
sorry to interrupt you, sir. In this case as well, I think there will be the count will be more than one, because see in case of where the line 80
yeah,
in your console, see,
yeah.
okay, sorry, no, it will not go till fifth element. It will
No, no,
go
it will
till
not.
the yes, yes, okay, then fine.
Okay. So I'm taking a list of numbers, I'm calculating the differences, the consecutive differences using np.diff, and I'm looking for a sign change. How am I doing that? I'm doing this quotient. If that is less than 0, then you know that there's a hill or valley there. Okay. So, and if I do count is greater than 0, I know there are hills or valleys in my sequence of numbers. But if I just want to know if there is only one hill or one valley, I do this. Yeah. My program is just to do if there is exactly one hill or one valley. Okay. Else you return false. Now I pass an input to this. Okay. Now is where I'm running. So this is my entire function, hill valley. Okay. This entire function. Okay. Now I do
Sir,
print
sorry to
hill
interrupt.
valley of, this is my input now, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So is there a hill or a valley here? What is it? What is
Sir,
there a hill or valley first thing?
It's a hill. It's
Yes, you get a hill. There is a hill or a valley, and you actually have a hill here. So when I run this, okay. So let me run this entire function. Nothing gets output, okay, because I've not called the function. Now I'm calling the function here. Go to my first video to figure out what I mean by calling the function. So I'm calling the function hill valley, running this as the input, and then print, okay, printing the output. Okay, so it's printing two things. It's printing the differences also. I might not need this. I was doing this to debug, but I don't want that. So I'll just run it again, and it will give me the answer. True. Okay, so there is a hill. Okay, if I just give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, false. There is no hill. Okay, did you get that? Yeah.
yes, sir.
Oh shit.
sir, my
Yeah.
God, sir.
Oh, something happened. Oh, one
Hello,
second. Yeah, yeah. 1 second. 1 second. Yes. Tell me.
sir. Can you please explain from the lumpy part to the if section?
Okay. Okay, I'll do that. Wait, I'll just see what this problem is here. Okay. So numpy, we did differences, no? So you know what numpy.diff is doing? np.diff. Do you know what it's doing?
Not sure, sir.
Okay. So suppose you have a list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3. Okay, I'll show you here. Suppose you have a list a is equal to 1, 4, just some numbers I'm typing, okay? Hey, what happened? Oh, give me an error. Okay, this is a list. Now, when I do np.diff of a, so it's basically giving me consecutive differences. So what it's doing is 2 minus 1. What is 2 minus 1? 1, no?
One.
So that is this number here. 4 minus 2 is 2. 5 minus 4 is 1. Okay. 6 minus 5 is again 1. So it's giving me consecutive differences. Do you understand what np.diff is doing?
Yes, sir. I got it.
Okay. Next, when you have a hill or a valley, suppose yeah, suppose I have this thing sequence of numbers. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3. Okay, is there a hill or a valley here?
A hill.
Hill, no? So when you take the difference of this sequence of numbers, you get this, okay? 1, 1, minus 1, okay? This is what you get, okay? This you understood? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Now, you know that when I divide consecutive, so this is my crux here. So this statement here is my condition. When I divide two adjacent numbers in a sequential manner, if they are of the same sign, that means they were decreasing because these are differences, mind you. This is not the actual thing. These are differences. So that means they are increasing if or decreasing if they have the same sign. They are increasing, no, 1, 2, 3, and the difference is 1, 1. It's positive. Yeah. If you take the quotient, 1 divided by 1 is still positive, right? Did you get that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But if there is a decrease, so 4 to 5, the difference is 1, but 5 minus 4 is 1 and 4 minus 5 is minus 1. So concentrate on these two numbers here. You see it's going from positive to negative?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So when that happens, if I try to find the quotient of these two numbers, it will be less than 0. Yeah, if I
Yes,
do
sir.
1 divided by minus 1, what is the answer? It's minus 1, no? It's less than 0, it's negative. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So that means there's a hill or a valley there. In this particular case, there's a hill.
Okay, okay, sir. Got it. Got it.
Did you get it? So first I'm taking the numbers, I'm calculating the consecutive differences. Then I'm looking for when I divide us again, if I do consecutive division, that is what I'm doing here. Difference of I minus divided by differences of I plus 1. Okay, so I'm taking consecutive quotients. First this quotient, then this quotient, then this quotient, likewise, okay? So if it's positive, then the numbers are either decreasing or increasing. But if the quotient is less than 0, that means you are getting a decrease, increase and then a decrease, or decrease and then an increase. Okay. So then that is when I increase my count by 1. So there's a hill or a valley there. Is that understood?
Yes, sir. But why, sir, we are taking in the range section length difference -1.
Yeah. So, but because if I do go till length of differences, so it will go, my I will go from the first till the last element in this differences. It will, yes or no? So this part will take me till the last element of that differences. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But if I do divide by I plus 1, then that this I plus 1 does not exist because the list is ending. Did you understand?
Okay.
So that's why I
Yes,
do
sir.
minus 1 here. So it will go only till the last but one element. Okay. And then I divide that by the last thing here. This is basically for me to get this quotient of all the consecutive division. Otherwise, if I do here I plus 1, it will go to the last element when I have only length of differences here. And then what is I plus 1? There's nothing after that. Did you get that? It will give me an
Yes,
error.
sir.
It will give me an index out of reach. Try that. Okay.
Okay.
It will give me an index out of range error. You know why that because that element does not exist only if I do that. That's why I'm doing minus 1. Okay. So is the
Okay.
program clear now?
Yes, sir. Clear.
So now we are getting a hill. Okay. Then we did a value also, no? No, not a value. Let's do a value. 5, 4, 2, 1, 2. So there's a value, no? At 1. Yeah. So I'll just run this entire.
Yes, sir.
I don't know whether this because I did change something there. So is there a value? 5, 4, 2, 1, 2. Oh, giving me saying false. Oh no, this is count is equal to 1. That's what I changed. My mistake. Okay. So it's giving true. No. Yeah. If there is one hill or valley, give me true, otherwise false. Huh? So there's a valley here.
Yes.
Now suppose I have repeating elements, okay? So for 5, 4, 2, comma 2, there's another 2 and 1, comma 2. Let's try and run this. There's still a valley, no? There's a plateau at 2, then there's a valley. That's still at 1, right?
Yes, sir.
But you see there, I get a thing. I'm dividing something by 0. Now I'll do print differences. So if you see differences, one difference is 0 because it's 2 minus 2. Do you see this here? I'm printing that thing here, okay? Within the function, and it's printing me in the console also. 2 minus 2 is 0. So 4 minus 5 is minus 1, 2 minus 4 is minus 2, then 2 minus 2 is 0. No? And then 1 minus 2 is minus 1, and 2 minus 1 is 1. So because of that 0 is there, I'm doing this division. Any number divided by 0 is not defined, no? So that's why it's giving me this error. Okay. Now I wanted to correct that. Okay, so I wanted to remove all my zeros. So what I did was I defined. So I'll uncomment everything here. So do you know what the problem is right now? Does everyone get it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Basically, my
Yes, sir.
elements are repeating, and because of that, I'm getting a 0 in my differences. And because of that, when I'm doing division, some number divided by 0, 0 will come sometime, right? I plus 1 when I'm here. Minus 2 divided by 0 is actually not defined. Infinity. Minus infinity. Actually, it's not defined. So that's why this error is coming. It says divide by 0 encountered in long scalars. So to avoid that, I change my code now. So I'll uncomment this entire thing. So this is how you debug a program, okay? You figure out, so when I did print differences, I figured out there's a 0 there and I need to remove that 0. Okay, so what I do is, oh shit. Yeah, so I hope uncomment. Okay, so I define a new list, L new, okay? It's an empty list, okay? So this list will store values without duplicates, okay? Duplicates that I pass here as the function. So there are 2 and 2 are duplicates here, right? I want to remove these duplicates. So any consecutive numbers that are repeating, I want to remove that. Duplicates or triplicates, anything, okay? If they're repeating, I want to remove those things.
Sir, can we not just use the set to
Yes, yes, you can. But set, no, one thing that it will do is it will remove this 2 also.
Orders, yes.
So it will just, so it's not useful that much.
Yes, got it.
Okay. So L new equals this empty thing. Then I go for I in range, length of that original list, L minus 1 again. I'll tell you why I'm doing that. I compare. If L of I is not equal to L of I plus 1, basically if two elements are not equal, consecutive elements are not equal to each other, right? Do you get this? Then I append that element, okay? Did you get that? Yeah? Did you get this?
Yes, sir.
So what I'm doing is I'm looping from the first index 0 to again length of L minus 1. Why minus 1? Because I'm comparing I and I plus 1th element of the list L. And if they are not equal, only then I append that thing to this L new. L new is initially empty. So now it's getting filled up by all these elements. Now I also have, since I'm going only till the last but 1th element. Okay. I also want to include my last element. Okay. So to do that, I append this thing, length of this last element here. Okay. Suppose I have this 5, 4, 2, 1, 2. It will not. So I'll show you what it will give. So print L new. Okay, and I'm not appending this yet. Just put this. Okay. So I'll just first run this program so that the changes have been stored. Now I've run this. Okay. Forget this error thing, but you see this L nu does not have this 2 here. It says 5421 and not 2, but we need 2, right, in our list.
Yes, sir.
So to do that, I will just add this last thing, because we are not in the loop, we are not going till the last element, but we need that last element also. Okay, so we do this. Now if I print L new, not here but after appending, okay, so I'll just run this entire function and the calling thing. So see, it has 5 4 2 1 2, so the replicates are not there, 2 2 is not there. Even if I have 3 times 2, it will still give me 5 4 2 1 2. Okay, so I'll just run this. See, 5 4 2 1 2. So all the repetitions are not there. So this is a small code from here to here. Okay, is a small subcode that I've written to remove all repeating sequences within a list of given numbers. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
one doubt. Sir, what if at the last there is a two repeating elements, let's say 2 and 2? So we have
So
included,
yeah, so if the 2 and 2 is
let's say 3
there,
and 3.
okay, so let's see 3 and 3. Okay,
3
3
and 3,
comma 3.
yes.
So it will compare this and this. They are equal, right?
No, no, it will not compare, no, because we are not comparing the last one, right?
No, we are comparing
And we
this with the last one, because I plus 1 is there.
so
It will not print that 3. It will not print this 3.
but every time we are appending the last one, right?
Yeah,
At
yeah.
the
So that's what.
after.
So yeah, yeah. So I'll tell you what will happen. So 3 and 3, it will first compare, and because they are equal, that this 3 will not get added, no.
Oh, yeah. Okay, okay.
But then we'll add the last 3. So that 3 will come once at least. You will see that.
Hmm, got it.
Okay? That 3 is there.
Yes, correct.
Okay? So that's why this statement is very important to add the last element. And then I print this. And then the program is as the same. Only thing now, instead of L, I have to add L new. Okay? Now that difference is being calculated only on that new thing, which has just no repetitions. Okay? And then because of we don't have repetitions, this zero problem will not come, because there's no zero in you will not get difference to be equal to 0 anytime, because there are no repeating elements. Okay? So let's run this entire thing. So there is a value here at 1 again, no? See, it's giving me true. And even the things, so this is my unique list, so it's 54213. So this is my original list, 54222 that gets reduced to 54213, and then I print the differences, so there is no 0, and then I do this thing. So do you understand this entire program? Any doubts? So this is a little complicated, but it exposes you to a lot of things. It exposes you how to manage lists, how to write loops, how to write if statements, and all those things, and also import NumPy. There are other ways of doing this. Okay, I can right away tell you some other way, but I don't want to. Okay, I just did it this way because it's much faster. The program runs much faster. Okay.
So can we also discuss the time complexity for this?
Okay. Yes. So the time complexity for this is of the order 2n. Okay. Why 2n? So this is first I have to go here. I'm doing one comparison here. How many comparisons I'm doing? N minus 1. Suppose n is the size of the list. Okay. This is the size. So suppose the size of this is n. I'm doing n minus 1 comparisons here. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So that is order of n minus 1 is order of n for very large n. Okay. Then I'm doing another comparison here. Again, this is n minus 1 comparison, because yeah, Differences, if there is, again, this can be n minus some k, okay, k is some constant. For very large n, again it will be n only.
Yes.
So then I'm comparing that only n times. So 2n for very large n I'm saying. So order of 2 into n, which is nothing but order of n only.
Order of n, sir.
Okay.
Mhm.
And this is just a constant. This is k. This is just actually one constant. Order of n into order of 1 is just order of n. Okay. So did you understand this? Everything very good questions. So if you're able to write such kind of code, then you will be able to do all the assignment problems and also write your that code assignment also. You will be able to do the assignment MCQs as well as writing code. Please go through the video also. I'll post the video and this everything. Yeah, this code also. Then next, since we have time 20 minutes, I thought we'll do another program called matrix transposition. What is matrix transposition? Let's do a quick Google search. Matrix transpose. Let's do an image. So images are nice. I understand things through images only. Okay. Basically, if you see here, okay, this let's so yeah, if you see here, these are elements in a matrix. Okay, A, B, C, D, F. This is a row, these are rows, one row, two rows, and you have three columns. So rows and columns, these are rows, these are columns. Now when I transpose, the elements in the columns come into the rows and the elements in the rows go into columns. So how I write this is basically, I take all the rows ABC and write them column wise. ABC. I take again all this DF and write them column wise. Okay, so this is A transpose. So A and A transpose, is that clear? Yeah?
Yes.
I take all the elements in a row and write them column wise. So all this vertically, horizontal to vertical, horizontal to vertical. If you keep doing this, that's you get a transpose. Okay. Now you can do so in Python. There's a ready-made command to do this. Okay. Again in NumPy. Okay. I think it's np.transpose and it will do it automatically. But here I've just written everything explicitly without using any real function. I've written a function of my own. So this transpose takes a matrix M. How do you write matrix in Python? There are many ways you can use NumPy NP, but you can write simply like this. So this is a 1D matrix. Okay, a list is also a matrix. It's just 1D, one dimension, just one row of 1, 2, 3. But if I write a list within a list and of the same sizes, for example, 4, 5, 6, then you see it's a matrix with 2 rows and 3 columns. Okay. Yeah, and what is the element at the first row and first column? If I do this, because indices and things start with 0, it's 1. Okay. So it's basically like if I write this ABCD, it's a little hard. Imagine the same thing here, image, instead of ABCD, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That can be written exactly in computer language like this. Okay. And then I'm trying to extract this element here. Just this element here. So that index is 0th thing, 0th row and 0th element in that row. Okay. So 0th row is nothing but the first row. This is the second row. If I do m dot shape of, does it give me something? No. Shape of, I don't know. These are NumPy functions. Okay, it's not there.
Don't put the brackets. It's just an attribute. So dot shape.
Oh, m dot
shape.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I am new to Python. Okay. I think I have to use NumPy. I don't know.
It's a list. It's not an array.
Yeah. So
That's
list,
why.
I'm not getting shape. Oh, so I'm doing m dot shape and it's not giving me anything.
It will not give because it's a list.
Yeah.
Shape is a attribute for
Array. Yeah.
NumPy array. You
Yeah.
convert it.
That's why. I can do np dot shape. I can define this as an array and then do this, but I won't do it now.
As array, yes, you can convert it
Yeah,
into that.
I just write array of, but let's not do it here because I've used the list only. I just wanted to use very simple stuff, okay, with basic just logic, okay. So now, so this is how you write a matrix, okay, in this list form. So I write lists of lists, and in the first list is the first row elements, the second row elements. If I want to access just the first row, I do m of 0. M of 0 will give me the first row. Okay, it's giving me 1, 2, 3. If I just want the first element within that first row, I do m of 0, 0. Okay, so it give me 1. Now I calculate the number of rows in my thing. So it's nothing but length of m. Okay, that will give me the number of rows. So if I do length of m here, because m we have all, how many, what is the length of m? It is 2, right? We have 2 lists, so basically 2 rows. So I'm doing that here. Columns are basically number of elements within a list itself. So these are all columns. So I do length of m of 0. Okay. So that will give me the number of columns. So I have my rows and number of columns. Then I create an empty list. Okay. So this is a nice statement. Okay. This maybe it's good to know this early on. I'll write a very simple statement first. Suppose I want to create a list of only zeros. Okay. Here. L is equal to list of zeros, say 10 zeros. 0 for I in range 0 to 10. Okay. See how many zeros are there? 10 zeros. It goes from 0 to 9. So this is a way of writing, so I can repeat whatever I want n number of times by using this. Okay. Did everyone get this? This just this function. This is actually not a function. I'm just writing L is a list of zeros. How many times a 0? For I in range 0 to 10. So as I goes from 0, 1 to 3, keep adding zeros. Okay. Did you get this?
Yes, list comprehension.
List comprehension. Okay. Now I'm doing this twice here. Okay. So what I do is I want to create a matrix of just zeros. Okay. Of the shape 3 cross 2. Okay, so when I transpose a matrix, okay, I want to convert the rows to columns and columns to rows. For example, here number of rows and columns is 2 cross 3. I want to do it as 3 cross 2. Okay, so I'm doing that here, where m transpose is a list first. Inside the thing, I just do 0 for I in range. This is important, rows. So I'll have as many columns as the number of rows here. Okay. Yeah. Did you understand? Yes. And then this entire thing, so list of list, no, this entire thing I will repeat it for j in range columns. Okay, so many lists, as many lists as the number of columns will get things. So I'm interchanging rows and columns here. Okay, for example, if I want to print so I just run this because we have an m there. We have an m there, yeah. Okay. No, we haven't defined what rows and columns. Maybe I'll just run these two rows. Okay. Then I will run this. Now I'll just do m transpose. How does this look? See? So it's got how many? 3 rows and 2 columns. Initially we had only 2 rows and 3 columns. Go to m. What is m here? I'll print m also here. Yeah? 2 rows and 3 columns, but I'm printing an empty matrix with just zeros with 3 rows and 2 columns. Okay? Did you get what I'm doing here in this loop? I am interchanging. So this is important. The rows have to come inside and then columns. I'm just interchanging rows and columns. So first I built a list. Okay? Build a list with just the zeros as the number of rows. Okay? So rows is not basically whatever, 2 rows. So only 2 zeros within a list, okay? And then I repeat that same operation for the number of columns. I need, sorry, the number of rows that I need. So columns need to become rows. So this columns comes here. So I have 3 rows here. Yeah. Anyone? Any doubt here? Everyone seems a little confused. I'll just repeat it very slowly. Initially, for a given matrix M, suppose this is my matrix M, I calculate the number of rows and columns. What are the number of rows in this? Anyone?
Number of rows, 2 and 3 columns.
Yes?
Initially.
Yes? Does everyone agree?
Yes.
Now I want to create an empty matrix with the reverse. I need 3 rows and 2 columns. Okay? So what I do is, empty matrix, I just want zeros everywhere. Okay? So 0 for I in range rows. How many rows for I in range is value is 2 here now? Yeah. So I get 2 zeros within that list. For yeah, I'm getting 2 zeros. Now I'm repeating that entire list. I want so many such lists. Okay. For how many times? 3 times. I have 3 columns. No, here. So range of columns, number of columns. This is nothing but 3 here. So this entire process of producing a matrix list of 2 zeros gets repeated 3 times. So we have 3 lists of zeros, 2 zeros each. Did you get this?
Yes, sir.
Everyone? Anyone else? Any doubt here? Okay. Then you go, once I've created an empty list, now I need to fill this zeros, okay? Now I'm just doing for I in range rows and for j in range columns. I'm just interchanging the indices. Rows becomes columns, column indexes become row indexes become column indexes. So M transpose G of I. So this is a loop within a loop for I in range rows and then another loop within that for J in range columns. M transpose G of I. So the index at G of I, that element gets filled with M of Ij. This is how you do transposition. This is not. For example, here also, this B of Ij, I is what here? Say in normal terms, not in Python terms. What is the index of this? It's first row, second column, right? But here it's
1 comma.
second row, first column. Yeah? The row and index values are getting changed. See, B is first row, second column, transfers second row, first column. Yeah? Same thing I'm doing here. So row column, column row. Row index, column index equals column index, row index. So this is the new matrix that is getting filled, whose column index, row index is nothing but row index, column index of this M matrix. Okay. When I do that, transposition happens and I just return the transpose. Okay. Return the M transpose. So I just print this function here. I'll call it and print it. First, I'll run the entire thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gets converted into this thing. Okay. So if you read it as rows, what are the first column values? 1, 2, 3, and then you have next column is 4, 5, and 6. Yeah. So this is how you transpose a matrix. Did you understand? Yeah. Any doubt? So what initially what is M? So M is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. M transpose is oh sorry, I'll write M transpose is okay. This is my M transpose. Oh sorry, not M transpose. I have to write this entire thing. So this is my M transpose because it's inside a function. Yeah. So this is my M, what I'm passing as input here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the input. Okay. and then this is the output. The rows are 1, 2, 3. Here the rows are just 1, 4. So 1, 2, 3 is written like this 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6 is all the second elements 4, 5, 6, second column. Yeah. Any doubts so far? I know it was a long session. We've done 2 programs which are quite little thing, but watch the videos again. Okay. I'll put all the material up, whatever we have done in this. Okay. Any doubts? If not, we'll close the session.
Sir, can you once more explain from the part on the from the ion range rows to the transposition interchanging indices?
Yeah. So I loop first. So for I in range rows and J in range, so these are basically J goes from how many columns do we have initially in M? We have 3 3 columns, no? So J goes from 0, 1, 2. Okay, these are J. Okay, so 3 times it gets executed. I goes from 0 and 1. Okay, so if I'll write a nested loop here for I in just to show you how nested loops work. Okay, 2 for J in range 3. Okay, print I comma J. Okay, see. So it's for first I is 0, then J is gets done 3 times. 0, so I'm printing every time I and J. So initially J and I are 0, 0, 0. Then 0, 1, J is going to 1. Then J is going to 2. Then again you go out to the outer loop. Okay. I is 1 now. 1, then again J again starts from 0 because you are executing this again. 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2. So that's how nested loops work. So I'm using the same thing here. Okay. Did you get this part, nested loop?
Yes, sir.
First, the inner loop gets executed fully for a given I value. Then, for the next I value, the inner loop gets executed fully again. Okay? So it's getting executed fully 0, 1, 2. Right here, you see 0, 1, 2. These are J values on your right side. Left side are only I values. First, I equals 0, you have 0, 1, 2. Then I becomes 1, again you have 0, 1, 2. Did everyone get that? Then I'm just transposing J and I as I and J. So M transpose position G and I. So 0 comma 0 is M of again 0 comma 0. Then J becomes 1 comma. So this next time J is 1. 1 comma 0 is equal to M of 0 comma 1. So that's that. This is what is happening. I told you, no, the indices get changed here. For example, E is what here? In normal matrix terms, it is second row, second column, 2 comma 2. Okay, not it'll be the same here. Maybe F. Okay, 3 comma second row, third column, 2 comma 3. But here it's 3 comma 2. Third row and second column. So the indices get changed. That's what is happening here. Mj of I equals M transpose J of I is equal to Mi of J. I'm just filling in this M trans. Initially it's full of zeros. I'm just filling it in. Yeah. Any doubt?
Okay, sir.
Okay. I think it was a big class today. I store everything. If not anything, I'll maybe say goodbye to you and see you next week. Yeah. Okay. Thank you all. Yeah. Someone
Thank you, sir.
No doubt. Okay. Thank you so much and see you next week. Okay. Close this.